Hello, everybody. This is our third update on the Church Planter Chronicles, and I want to let you know what's going on in the life of our family, what's going on with the residency here in Knoxville, be able to share some prayer requests for you, and just give you an all-around update on what we're experiencing while we're here in this residency. So, first of all, just wanted to be able to share with you that Jonathan and Rebecca are doing well at Western Carolina. They are in what's considered a hybrid situation where they've got some face-to-face classes, some online classes, just kind of a weird situation, just like everybody else is in that is doing school. But the biggest thing probably for them is not being able to get out and enjoy college life, campus life. That still stays pretty locked down. But other than that, they're doing well. Their studies are going well. Jonathan said that it's probably going too well because he's not really having to do much studying and able to ace quizzes and tests and that sort of thing. So we've tried to make sure that he is well prepared for the increased difficulty that will come as he continues his college life. But overall, they're doing good. They were in this past weekend and just was able to enjoy having them with us for a couple of hours. Homeschooling is going well for the three girls. David is not cooperating too well. We've been trying to do a little bit, or I should say Jennifer, not we. Jennifer has been trying to do a little bit of preschool work with him, and some days are productive, other days, you just don't even worry about it. But as far as Elizabeth and Lydia, they're doing really well. They're studying, they're working through their material. So it's been good for them to be able to do this versus doing it online or virtually, anything like that. And it definitely has been a help to Hannah to be able to give her that attention. There's some days that Jennifer's probably ready to throw her hands up and send her back, but that's just part of the whole process. So overall, though, everybody's doing very well, and we're kind of settling in here in Knoxville and making some connections and that sort of thing. Do have a praise item for you, an answer of prayer. If you remember from our last update, I shared with you that we still had not sold our home. We had it on the market since May and ended up moving up here, around August or so, and had to do that without the house selling. But praise the Lord, we've had many of you praying for a sale on that house, and we do have an offer on the house. We're going through all that process right now, hopefully to close later on this month. So again, that is a praise report, an answer to prayer, as we've been able to take care of that. So that's pretty much the update on our family. As far as what's taking place with the residency, we've been able to meet a couple of our neighbors and make some connections there. They've got kids that are Hannah and David's age, so that's been able to kind of be that gateway, if you will, of being able to make some connections with them. Unfortunately, our neighbors right behind us, they moved out a couple of weeks ago, so we kind of lost that connection. But we do have some other neighbors to our side that David and his name's Jack. They've been able to play a couple times, and so we're working on trying to build those relationships and being able to make some of those connections, and hopefully we'll see some gospel fruit come out of that. But continue to pray for that, if you will. I've been able to volunteer a couple of times at the local food bank, and again, just one, I want to be able to give back. I enjoy being able to do those sorts of things. Believe in the ministry of the food bank, and also use that as an opportunity to make some relational connections as well. I've been able to work with Habitat for Humanity some. So you just continue to pray for those connections and those relationships, and that I'll be able to have those gospel conversations with people. Been reading several books during this residency process. I've probably done more reading in the last couple months than I have since I finished up my formal education. But that's been good. Been able to have that break and that freedom to be able to do so. So I've read a book called Spark. If you have heard me talk about Exponential, or if you're familiar with Exponential, the conference, that's one of the ebooks they put out, and it talks about how to be a multiplication movement, and instead of just adding people, but they really want to send out and multiply. So that's been good. Radical Reformation, it's an older one, but that's still a good read, and how to be able to live on mission every day. And it's not just about inviting people to come to church, but how you're able to interact with people around you. And then Disciple Shift. That's one that has been out for quite a few years as well, but it talks about some of the shifts that you need to make within your church setting to be on mission and to be disciple making instead of just being focused on programs. So that's the one I'm working through right now, Discipleship. But encourage you to go out and read those books if you're interested in those sorts of things, particularly if you're in church life and that sort of thing. But definitely would encourage you to pick some of those up and take a look at those. I think I've shared this with you before, but Providence Church that I'm working with, Matt Giles particularly, who's the missions and church planning minister there, they are a church planting church, and they're actually getting ready to send out a planter by the name of Chase Phillips. They're planting Village Church on the north side of Knoxville. He's looking to launch in the spring around Easter time. So their launch meetings have been started the last couple of weeks, and so Jennifer and I have been attending those meetings and just kind of seeing how the baby is birthed, so to speak. The grassroots effort, being able to see how things kind of get off the ground. So that's been good. We've been able to enjoy that. Chase and I have been able to build a relationship. So I appreciate that and his willingness to kind of let me tag along. But those have been some good meetings for us to kind of see how things get started. Since the last update that I shared with you, I told you that I'm also sitting down with different ministry directors within Providence Church itself, just kind of hearing their philosophy, see how they do things, how they recruit volunteers and that sort of thing. So since the last time that I gave you an update, I've been able to sit down with the worship minister as well as the children's minister, and been able to have those conversations and get some ideas. And of course the wheels are turning and just kind of processing it all and envisioning what we might end up doing in the future. So those have been some good conversations, and have appreciated those opportunities. Last night, Jennifer and I were able to attend a meeting in a home of a couple that attends Providence. They had a missionary there who is a missionary to the Sudan, and she kind of shared her testimony and shared the work that's being done there in Sudan, and just continue to be amazed at how God is bringing people into the kingdom all around this world. And a lot of times our focus is here on the United States and what's taking place here, and we just lament how difficult things are, or how hostile people are to the gospel, or quote unquote post-Christian world, and so we kind of are all gloom and doom about the future of the church. But yet when you really hear about what God is doing in the nations around the world, it's amazing how God is moving, and he's still in the life-saving business. And so we were able to hear that, and I'm telling you, if we weren't sure that God was sending us to Asheville, we would be wondering if we're not supposed to be, in some of these other countries around the world. There's a great need there, and who knows what the Lord has in store for us, or for the future church, and how we might be involved there. But it was really a time to kind of rekindle and rethink about our faith and how serious we are about living out our faith. And so really enjoyed that sweet time last night. And then lastly, as far as an update right now on the residency, Matt and I will be heading over to Asheville later on this week. We're going to be spending a couple of days there, kind of exploring Asheville. I've been able to, kind of pinpoint about 6 areas, potential areas in Asheville where the Lord, would have us to actually plant a location for a church. And so we're going to be heading over there this coming, the end of this week, and kind of scoping out the areas, if you will, and use, some of the information that I've been able to glean over the last several weeks and months about Asheville and learning the demographics, learning the needs and all that's taking place there. And so be in prayer for us as we're doing that. But I'm looking forward to being able to get over there and getting kind of boots on the ground, so to speak, as we try to discern where God would be leading us to really kind of plant our lives. So those are, again, updates on the family, update on the residency, prayer request. One, continue to pray for spiritual protection for my family, knowing that we're doing the Lord's business and the devil doesn't like that. And particularly as we get closer to going to Asheville, knowing that we're going to be doing some spiritual battle. So seriously, please keep our family in your prayers, praying for spiritual protection, that God would sustain us, that He would keep us close to Him, that we'd be close to each other, that we might be able to be strong in the Lord. Continue to pray for the people of Asheville. There are people there that God has purposed unto Himself, and just kind of like what God tells Paul in the book of Acts about Corinth. He has reserved a people unto Himself, and so He's got a great work ahead of Him. And I'm praying that God has people called unto Himself there in Asheville, and that that He would be preparing their hearts to receive the gospel. Now, granted, we're not coming in as the Lone Rangers. There are other gospel-centered churches that are doing gospel work, and so we're looking to come in and partner with them. We're not thinking that we're going to be the savior of Asheville or anything like that. There are people there, but there's a great need, a great work that's there, and we want to be able to come in and partner with our brothers and our sisters to be able to share the love of Christ and the good news of the gospel. So be praying for God to work on those hearts, work on those people, prepare them as God does a great work there. And then continue to pray for opportunities for us to be able to live on mission. I've told you about meeting some of our neighbors, being able to do some of the volunteer work, but just that that our eyes would be open to the opportunities, that we would have those opportunities to be able to live on mission. That's our calling in life, to make disciples, not just us as in my family, but us as in believers, you as a believer. So how can we as the Williamson family live on mission, and even include yourself in that, of how you might be able to live on mission, be able to be a disciple maker who makes disciples, who make disciples, and have those opportunities to share with others about who God is. As I said, pray for our upcoming Asheville trip, that things will go well. Also, this is a new one that I want to be able to put out there before you. Pray that people would be willing to pray, give, or go to this work. That people would be willing to pray, give, or go. And that might include you. Want to say thank you to those that have been praying for us, for those that have financially support us. Thankful for the work of our denomination and for the Church Planning Renewal Board and their support and how they've rallied behind us. But it's going to take a lot of us to be able to see this church be birthed in Asheville. And so we'll always take your prayers, but for those that want to step up and give, we would just be so grateful and thankful that you're a part of that work. And then maybe even go. I don't believe that God would have Jennifer and myself just parachute solo into Asheville. You look at the book of Acts, Paul always had his team that would go with him. And I believe that God has people that will be going to Asheville with us. So be praying that those people would see it, that they would sense it, they would know that God's calling upon their life. It would even be you. But that, again, that people would be willing to pray, that would be willing to give, that they would be willing to go for this work in Asheville. Again, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll never stop saying that. You are, taking a leap of faith with us in this journey. You have been right there with us, this entire time, and we are eternally grateful for that. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, if you're watching it through YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to it. That way you'll make sure that you won't miss any updates, and because we want to continue to do this to keep you guys informed. But subscribe to the channel. If you want more information, these are just quick blurbs. So if you want more information about what we're doing, if you want me to come and give a presentation in your church, or be able to kind of share face to face with one of the groups within your church, reach out to me. If you want to know how you can be more involved, again, reach out. So you want more information, you want us to come see you, if you want to be able to get involved, just reach out and contact us and let us know about those things. And then finally, I would ask that you would share this video, as well as invite others to participate and be a part of this work. The more that we can get this word out, I think the better the ministry and the better the work will be. So feel free to share the video, invite others to come and be a part of this, and look forward to being able to see you all real soon, and pray that God's blessing would be upon each and every one of you.